What's up, guys? Big Natty back with another video. The Boston Celtics sit at number 4 in the East, tied with Philly, who has upgraded their team considerably, who are in the 5th seed right now. And the Celtics just beat the Detroit Pistons without Kyrie Irving. So they moved to 9-2 without Irving. And so we're here at the same question again. Do the Celtics need Kyrie Irving? Does he limit them more than propel them to success? And we have to look at the numbers. Now, to answer that question right now, for me, Kyrie Irving is not the issue with the Celtics. Everybody puts the blame on him. Everybody says that the struggles they're having this year is his fault. They won a lot last year, and they did. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. But looking at the numbers, out of the 11 teams they've played without Kyrie Irving, 4 of those were playoff teams. So pretty much they're beating about half of the time bad teams, and then half of the time you say okay teams. I don't know specifically which of those 4 teams they played without Kyrie Irving. Now, Brad Stevens himself said we need Kyrie Irving to be the best version of ourselves, and I agree with him. Looking at the numbers, if you look at all of the big games they've played against elite teams, he's had to put up crazy numbers. When they played the Raptors in an overtime game, they end up winning. Kyrie had to score 43 points with 11 assists. If we look at their most recent Raptors game, in which they pulled it out by 11 points, Kyrie Irving had to have 18 assists, which for a guy who they consider, a Kobe-like player, a guy who doesn't get his teammates better, that's a lot of playmaking he had to do to propel them to a win. When they played the Warriors and they only lost by 4, you saw once again But I would look at the numbers again and say when they played the Thunder, another good team, he had 30 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, putting up monster numbers once again. When they played the Nuggets and they won that game, he put up 31 points. And so I'm looking at all of these numbers and I'm saying, okay, the narrative around the league is Kyrie Irving is a cancer. He shoots too much. He doesn't involve his teammates. But in all the games I listed, he had a decent amount of assists and a decent amount of scoring to his name, which suggests that the Celtics are good at beating bad teams or average teams without him, and their roster is solid. Yes, I would agree the ball moves a little bit more when he's not on the floor. But in those marquee matchups, in those tough matchups, which that's what the Celtics are gearing up for. Who cares if they go, 15-4 or 20-6 when he's not on the floor? Do you think that they'll be able to beat those elite level teams that are listed without him? And any basketball fan, anybody who has any knowledge, coaches, GMs will tell you no. Because when I see the lights get the brightest, and when I see him in these marquee games on ESPN and on national television, his teammates don't look nearly as good as they looked the night before on local TV, playing the Charlotte Hornets. And that's because he always rises to the occasion. When it comes down to top tier talent, he's one of the best players in the league for a reason. It's because he doesn't shy away. And so he's needed, because when they match up against, let's say, the Bucks in the playoffs or Philly in the playoffs, or 76ers in the playoffs, they're going to need, monster performances for him to be in the game. That's not even because when I listed all the games, he didn't even win every single game that I listed stats for. But that's just for them to be competitive in those games. He had to have monster games for them to be competitive or have a chance to win. And so I think everybody losing sight of that. So I think, Kyrie Irving is not the problem in the Celtics. Yes, the ball sticks with him, but what are you supposed to do? I mean, they've said that about every great player. Kobe, you know, um, LeBron, the ball sticks too much. Well, if nobody else is creating plays, if nobody else is making something happen, especially against those elite teams or great teams, then it's on the star to make something happen. And you see he does make play after play after play. So I just think the narrative is, and the NBA has these narratives, they go in and out with these narratives about who they dislike or like for the moment. And I understand it, but I think it's always unfair when you look at the numbers and the numbers suggest something else. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think if the Celtics are able to put it together, because I think the major issues come from Brad Stevens trying to play too many guys. I think putting Gordon Hayward in the starting lineup at the beginning of the season was not a smart idea, considering the injury he came off of. But I think that was more of a "this is my guy" type of thing, because he was his coach at Butler in college, so he was playing favorites. I mean, they have to get the rotation right. And that's tough when they have Rozier, Brown, and Tatum, and Morris, and all of these guys that deserve minutes. And Gordon Hayward hasn't deserved a lot of his minutes that I think could have been given to those guys. So I think the Celtics are in a position right now where they can still be, I think, that third seed in the East, possibly. Now, what they do in the playoffs, I don't know. I really don't know. I have either Philly or the Bucks coming out of the East, and right now it's looking like Philly with the moves they made. But the Celtics could very well still come out of the East. And you guys wonder why I don't mention the Raptors. No trust in the Raptors in the playoffs. We know what Kawhi is going to do. I've said this before, but Kyle Lowry always chokes, so I mean, if he's not putting up numbers at that point guard position, then no chance. I think at the end of the day, they may figure it out. They may not. Who knows? And Kyrie's going to take a lot of the blame. And that's what they do, always to the Blaze player. But it doesn't mean that people were right in giving him the blame. So, I think because of that, you might see Kyrie, move to a different team. And I don't blame him. He's a free agent. It is what it is. But we'll see what they do in the playoffs. Have another video coming soon on the Lakers struggles and will they make the playoffs. So just tune in for that. But like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about the whole Celtic situation. Is the narrative overblown, or do you think it is actually Kyrie's fault? Big Nady, I'm out.